Hello there and welcome back to Dave's Wrestling Pitches. At the time of recording, SummerSlam 2021 is a mere few hours away, which means that we are a mere few hours away from watching the R-rated superstar and noted opportunity enthusiast Edge versus Seth "Look at my fancy suits" Rollins. Now this feud actually has the flavour of long-term booking about it because these are two men with history. You see, back in 2014, during his initial 9-year retirement, Edge had his still then broken neck held to ransom by Seth Rollins, who was bartering to bring back the Authority. This story was left dormant for several years because Edge was still retired, but when Edge made his return, Seth Rollins was on hand to cost him his match against Roman Reigns at 2021's Money in the Bank for the Universal Championship. And unusually for a WWE feud, this is a story with clear objectives and clear aims for everyone involved. Edge is angry at Seth Rollins for 1. Threatening to break his neck back in 2014 and 2. For costing him his shot at reclaiming the spot he once held. Seth Rollins, on the other hand, is angry at Edge for coming in and taking his spot as the younger, fresher man at the top of the card. And not unusually for WWE, this is a feud with limited room to grow. You see, with a wrestling storyline, it's important to know who do you want to come out on top and who's going to get the most out of the victory overall. Now, on the surface of it, that's really easy. It should be Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is the younger guy and is going to get a massive boost of his credibility by beating a world champion many times over in Edge. And that is true, but Seth Rollins is already a 2-time WWE champion, a 2-time Universal champion, the first ever NXT champion, a 2-time Intercontinental champion, a 1-time United States champion, a 6-time Raw Tag Team champion, the winner of Money in the Bank 2014 and the winner of the Royal Rumble 2019. At this point, how much does he actually stand to get by beating a Hall of Famer? He's practically got one foot in the Hall of Fame himself. But you know who's not a WWE Hall of Famer? Do you know who is so far away from the top of the tree that they're practically begging earthworms for a cup of sugar? The tag team divisions on Raw and SmackDown. And that's a shame because NXT has proven time and time again that tag team wrestling can be pretty amazing when it's done right. So I'm going to take the Edge and Seth Rollins rivalry and use that to build a tag team division on SmackDown. And if you think I'm going to be as basic as to book a how will these two men get along kind of storyline, then you've got another thing coming because no, actually that's perfect, but alright, but just bear with me, yeah? So, we start at SummerSlam. Edge and Seth Rollins have their match. They brawl all around the ringside area, all the way up the ramp, all the way backstage, to the point where they come to some scaffolding. Edge spears Seth Rollins into the scaffolding. This causes it all to fall down on top of both men, completely burying them. The ref attempts to make a 10 count, but it's pointless because neither man is getting up from this. They dug out from under the wreckage, the match is called off, and both guys are sent to a nearby medical facility. Now, normally I don't agree with non-finishes like this on a pay-per-view. They're fine on weekly TV, but pay-per-views are where you would normally cement the storyline. You would close a chapter and move on to the next one. But in this instance, we're not using this to close anything. We're using this to start something. It's important that neither man comes out on top at the start. The next night on Raw, it's announced that a tournament is going to be held for the Tag Team Championships on both Raw and SmackDown. The tournament will start on the next week's Raw and run for the next 3 weeks until Payback, with the finalists from the Raw bracket will face the finalists from the SmackDown bracket for a #1 contendership match for the Tag Team Championships of their brand. The Tag Team Champions from each brand are excluded from competing, but apart from that, anything goes. It doesn't matter if you've been a tag team for 5 minutes or for 5 years, you can enter the tournament. On the next episode of SmackDown, Edge is being interviewed about his match with Rollins when he is attacked by, who else? Seth Rollins. The pair resume their fight from SummerSlam, brawling all around the SmackDown arena, cameras cutting back and forth to them in between each match. Towards the end of the show, the pair are finally separated by officials who inform them that, as two of the brand's biggest stars, it will be bad for business if they actually succeed in their mission in killing each other. They've already had a match to settle their differences, and as that didn't work, they are now officially a tag team and will be competing in the SmackDown bracket of the tag team tournament. If either man attacks the other one during the tournament, or if they throw the tournament in any way, they will be banned from competing for any championship in WWE for 1 whole year. You see, the reason the whole how will these two guys get along storyline doesn't really work anymore is, well, 1, it's been done to death, but 2, there's never really a strong reason for either man to actually want to work together. Now hopefully we've addressed that straight from the off with this. Management want them to work together because it'll be bad for business if either one of them dies, and they have to work together because neither one of them wants to be precluded from competing for a championship. Now, if there's one thing that I hate in WWE, and there are a lot, it's when a makeshift partnership easily beats an established tag team. So, we're going to have Edge and Rollins face off against other makeshift teams at the start of the tournament to help their partnership grow. Edge and Seth Rollins' first match is going to be against the makeshift team of Cameron Grimes and LA Knight, because they've been entered into the tournament by Ted DiBiase. Now, I've got no idea how this is going to play out with regards to what's actually going to happen on TakeOver, but I'm going to apply a little bit of creative license, use a bit more fantasy booking, because I think it would be fun. Unable to work together, Cameron Grimes and LA Knight are arguing in a corner when Edge spears both men. He dives on Cameron Grimes, is about to make the cover when Seth Rollins pushes him off and makes the cover himself. 1, 2, 3. They advance to the next round of the tournament. Edge stays daggers through the back of Seth Rollins' head. The next match is against Cesaro and a re-debuting Harry Smith Jr. And this time it's Seth Rollins' turn to hit his finisher, only to get pushed away so that Edge can make the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Both men stare at each other as we at home come to realise that this rivalry is very much not over, it's just the battlefield that's changed. On the SmackDown before Payback, in the SmackDown finals, Edge and Seth Rollins are going to take on Chad Gable and Otis of the Alpha Academy. Now this is their first established pairing, and therefore it's their first real challenge, and therefore they are going to have to work together. Both men isolate Otis, taking out the bigger, stronger man so that they can focus on Chad Gable. Both men hit their finishes, both men make the pinfall, not breaking eye contact with each other as the referee counts the fall. 1, 2, 3. Edge and Seth Rollins are going to Payback. At the pay-per-view itself, Edge and Seth Rollins are going to face off against who else? The New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, because they're a natural fit to win the Raw bracket of this tournament. And because it's just a scientific fact that both men are better as heels, Seth Rollins is going to distract the referee so Edge can use that opportunity to attack the New Day with a weapon of some sort, leaving neither man able to resist the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Edge and Seth Rollins have won the SmackDown bracket of the tournament, they've won the tournament itself, and they are now #1 contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Next week on SmackDown, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, come to the ring with special counsel to them and the Bloodline, Paul Heyman. Heyman invites Rollins and Edge down to the ring to congratulate them on their efforts in winning the tournament. He puts an arm round Rollins, pulls him in close, congratulates him specifically. I always knew that you were intelligent. I always knew that you were the clever one. That was a stroke of genius, getting yourselves entered into the tournament late so that you could go against makeshift teams and avoid any real competition until you got to the finals. Very clever. Very smart. Rollins, because he can't help himself, lets his ego get the better of him and takes the bait. He says, I'm a 6-time Raw Tag Team Champion. I'm not afraid to take on any tag team. There's not a tag team in this division that I can't beat. Before Edge can say anything, Seth Rollins has agreed to put their #1 contendership on the line each week on the run-up to Clash of Champions against all the teams that they avoided during the tournament. Heyman smiles, shakes hands with Seth Rollins as Edge stays. Just stares at Seth Rollins. So the challenge is set and our hero's journey is set before them. Next week they'll take on the Mysterios, followed the week after by the Dirty Dogs, followed after that by the Street Profits. However, it's just not that simple. In the first 2 matches against the Mysterios and the Dirty Dogs, Alpha Academy come out each time, causing interference behind the referee's back to ensure that Seth Rollins and Edge pick up the win. Rey Mysterio's about to hit 619. No. He's caught by Otis and absolutely squashed so that Edge can pick up a cheap pinfall. Dolph Ziggler is about to hit his 10th super kick of the match. No. His legs are taken out from underneath him by Chad Gable so that Seth Rollins can hit the stomp and pick up the win. And when questioned, Chad Gable explains, Edge and Seth Rollins, they beat us fair and square. We've actually got no problem with them. But the rest of the teams in this little setup, we beat them. We were the SmackDown finalists, and we're not included in this? No. If you think we're going to take this line down, you have got another thing coming. Now, with that in mind, on the SmackDown before Clash of Champions, the Street Profits come out and just forfeit their match against Edge and Seth Rollins. They know there's no point in competing because they know the match is going to be interfered with and they know that they're going to get the victory stolen from them. So instead, they challenge Alpha Academy to a match at the Clash of Champions pre-show. The challenge is accepted and, for once, we have a pre-show match with a little bit of story behind it. It's pay-per-view o'clock and Alpha Academy are dominating the Street Profits. However, before they can pick up the win, they are assaulted by the two teams that they've attacked in the run-up to the show. The referee is distracted by Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode so that Dom and Rey Mysterio can hit double 619s on Otis and Chad Gable. This allows Montez Ford to get the pin and claim victory for the team. The Street Profits are celebrating their victory, but it's not long before all four teams start brawling amongst themselves. This gives us an 8-man battle to end the pre-show and get us all nice and excited for what's to come throughout the rest of the night. During the show itself, because they kind of have to at this point, Edge and Seth Rollins pick up the win over the Usos to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Now, this gives us the chance to take the Usos out of the equation at the moment, and this is kind of necessary, unfortunately, because as long as they're around, we can't really build anyone else. Jimmy and Jey Uso are already tag team royalty and they don't need the tag team championships to be viewed as such. But as long as they're around, they're the natural #1 contender, so we need to say goodbye to them for the time being. Don't worry, we can always bring them back later. In storyline terms, we can always have Roman Reigns be so disgusted with them that they lost their match that he bans them from competing for the time being. Hot damn, Roman Reigns is good at the moment. In storyline terms, we can have Roman Reigns be so disgusted that the Usos have let the bloodline down that he bans them from competing for the tag team championships for the next couple of weeks. As a parting shot, however, Roman Reigns approaches Seth Rollins, his former Shield member, backstage after the match to congratulate him. He says, "Winning these belts must remind you of good times, right? Back when we were brothers. You know, your tag team partner used to have a brother. He's a good man. A Christian man. But I don't see much of him around nowadays. Tell me, did your tag team partner stand up for his brother when he was let go from the company?" Nah. Didn't think so. It's good to have brothers like that. Let you know who you can trust. But then, you'd know all about trusted brothers, wouldn't you? See you around, Seth. On the next episode of SmackDown, the new tag team champions are in the ring and are trying to celebrate when they're approached by the entire SmackDown tag team division, the 4 teams that we've seen previously. They're all making their case as to why they should be the next one to get a title shot when Edge says, no. Me and Seth Rollins, we have to earn our tag team title shot. What makes you guys think that you are any different? It's decided that at Extreme Rules, Edge and Seth Rollins will defend the tag team championship against the team that accrues the most victories between now and then. With that in mind, next week sees a matchup between the Mysterios and the Street Profits. However, once again, it's just not that simple and both teams are attacked by the Dirty Dogs and the Alpha Academy. The aim being, nothing we haven't seen before, take out both teams and remove them from the equation. And, of course, next week when it's time for the Dirty Dogs to face the Alpha Academy, both teams are attacked by the Street Profits and the Mysterios. Now, as I've said before, normally I don't like non-finishes, but that's because they're usually in the service of 50-50 booking. However, in this instance, we're doing it to build towards something. These false finishes shouldn't look like a cheap way to avoid one team being booked to lose to another one, but instead, with the actions that we're seeing and a little help from the commentary desk, should help to play out the story that we want to tell. That being that the SmackDown Tag Team Championships are worth fighting for. Because at the heart of it, making a championship feel important really shouldn't be that hard. Show us the championship, tell us what it takes to earn a shot at that championship, and then show the competitors for that championship fighting tooth and nail to get that shot. Next week, there is no match for the men's tag team division. Instead, it's all out warfare. Teams jumping other teams backstage, assaulting each other with various weapons. This carries on throughout the night, in between the matches, giving us a nice bit of variety on what is essentially a 2-hour show. Towards the end of the night, the teams are finally separated and told that next week they will be in a fatal 4-way tag team match. Whoever wins, they are the #1 contenders and they will go on to face Seth Rollins and Edge at Extreme Rules. And on the go home show, as you're probably expecting, it's absolute chaos. No team is able to pick up a win, no team is able to get a clear advantage because all four teams are just hell-bent on destroying each other. The match descends into a huge brawl outside the ring with referees trying and failing to restore any kind of order. If a referee tries to break up an illegal manoeuvre or tries to take a weapon away from someone, that referee is very much removed from the equation. These teams are killing themselves for the opportunity to face the champs when, speak of the devil, the champions arrive, chairs in each hand. Edge and Seth Rollins attack all men with weapons, finally throwing this match to be thrown out. Beautiful smiles on their beautiful faces, the tag team champions walk backstage very much satisfied with their night's work. However, those smiles are very quickly removed when management informs them that, due to their actions, they will now be in a 5-way elimination Extreme Rules match for the tag team championships against the 4 teams they've just assaulted. So now, the tag team champions are in a match against 4 teams who, while they very much have a grudge against themselves, now also have a grudge against them. And all 10 men are going to be able to use weapons. Hopefully, this should generate a nice little bit of interest for the pay-per-view itself. At Extreme Rules, Edge and Seth Rollins are just about managing to hold their heads above water. All 5 teams have gone for weapons straight out of the gates and are absolutely decimating each other. Every man in this match needs to be SmackDown Tag Team Champion, and they are prepared to go to any lengths to get there. Edge lines up a spear on Otis. He's making the run when Chad Gable throws Seth Rollins into his path. Edge wipes out Seth Rollins by mistake, is trying to make amends when he's rolled up by Montez Ford. 1, 2, 3. The tag team champions are eliminated. We are guaranteed new tag team champions. And in case you hadn't realised, this means that Edge and Seth Rollins are no longer a tag team, which means anything they do to each other is nice and legal. Edge is making his way back up the ramp to the backstage area when he is assaulted by Seth Rollins. The pair continue their fight all the way up the entrance ramp where we don't see them for the rest of the night. Back in the ring, the Mysterios hit 619s on the Dirty Dogs to eliminate them. 3 teams left. Montez Ford hits his finisher on Dominic. Rey Mysterio isn't quick enough to break up the pin. 2 teams left. Rey and Dom exchange dark glances between each other, setting up a little father and son rivalry for later on. But back in the now, the Street Profits are beaten up and they just cannot compete with Otis's brute strength. Otis squashes both guys, allowing Chad Gable to get the submission on Angelo Dawkins. He taps out and we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. On the next episode of SmackDown, it is revealed that Seth Rollins and Edge have been sent home. They are forbidden from attacking each other. They are forbidden from even entering the arena. It is announced that the pair will face off against each other in Survivor Series in a 2 out of 3 falls match to finally settle this rivalry. There must be a winner, and to make sure that there are no long-lasting repercussions, the loser will be sent from SmackDown to Raw. On the same show, WWE Management hosts a tag team summit. The new tag team champions and the other 3 teams are assembled in the ring and told that there will be no number 1 contendership match for Survivor Series. Instead, at Survivor Series, there will be a tag team championship gauntlet. The tag team champions are already in it and they will, as champions, start the match. However, for the other 3 teams, they go need to earn their place in that match in an open challenge each week, which will see each team face off anyone who wants to step up to the plate, anyone who feels like challenging. We've already seen these teams go off against each other a lot in the last couple of weeks, so we're going to give them a few weeks of fresh, exciting and non-repeating matchups each week with clear stakes on the line every single time. At the pay-per-view itself, Alpha Academy ended first and fend off the Dirty Dogs and the Mysterios before finally dropping the belts to the Street Profits. The Street Profits are celebrating in the ring. They can't believe their luck. They are new SmackDown Tag Team Champions when they are assaulted by who else but the Usos. And now we have a nice fresh rivalry for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships going forward. And in the main event of our storyline, Edge and Seth Rollins take on each other in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Edge gets the first fall, Seth Rollins gets the second. leading to a third and final decisive fall, which I'm going to give to Seth Rollins, because he has to. I know I said earlier that he doesn't really gain a lot from beating Edge, but he can use this momentum to push his way up the card to reignite the little sparks of a feud that we saw earlier between himself and a certain big dog. Meanwhile, Edge can go over to Raw where he can have fresh feuds with Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley or Randy Orton. No, not that one. That one's done. But that's the end of my pitch. Not so much a storyline, but an elongated angle that we've used to elevate the SmackDown Tag Team Championships and the teams that are competing for them. But how would you have done it? Would you have done it slightly differently or completely differently? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends if you have any, and if you like this video, please press the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can always get the freshest and most up-to-the-minute pitches from yours truly. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your time. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed this storyline pitch, and I'll see you all again soon.